sing-along song called What Is Mine to Give? Here we are. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? What is mine to do? All I want is to share myself with you. So I stand here asking, what can I do? What is mine to give? I give it to you. What is mine to give? I give it to you. All right, I'd like to introduce our musicians to you this morning. We have on the guitar, Ed Cusby. Bass is Mr. Bill Dixon. On drums, David Page. We have four song leaders this morning. We have Kimberly and Wade Wildrich, Karen Allen and Rick Dale, who are also being part of our soloist slot this morning. I'm Diane King Van here at the keys, and we're so glad you're here with us. Please stand up for one more sing-along song. This is called We Are the World. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make better days, just you and me. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make better days, just you and me. And now it's time for the English flavor. Say hello. We're gonna extend this so you have more time to sing along. Otherwise, we're gonna play one more. And now working your way back to your seats, we got one more chorus to sing in a higher key. And here we are. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make better days, just you and me. It's true, we make better days, just you and me. One more time. It's true, we make better days, just you and me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our center this morning, this happy Sunday, the first Sunday of the month. My name is Patty Mercado, and it's my joy to welcome us all here this morning. And to begin our service, we're going to start with something we know and love. We're going to start with lighting the flames of faith. Excellent. Cue. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the underlying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as Pam Rock, our practitioner, lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And I invite you to join with me in an opening prayer. Recognizing and knowing that that one which is known by many names, God, Spirit, Divine Mind, Infinite Love, that it is everywhere present in its entirety. It continues to reveal that which it is: perfection, wholeness, beauty, joy, light. It, that infinite and indwelling presence, is in and through, expressing as all life. And therefore I know that it is in and through and as each one of us. It is that which has brought us together this morning. It is that which has created and inspired this spiritual community. It is that which continues to reveal its perfection as we give and receive it. And so I know and I declare that there is an opening within each of us to download that creative and divine intelligence, to let it in, to open our hearts and make our minds receptive to that infinite inspiration that is God, that is wholeness, that is wellness, that is perfection. And so I know that each one of us is here to allow that, to make it welcome, and then to share it in the world. And I know that we begin by sharing it right here in this community of love, in this community of light, in this community of beauty. And I know that each one of us allows that, makes it welcome, and says yes. And in saying yes, we allow it to be. And so I give great thanks for that presence. I give great thanks for the infinite ways that it is expressed. And I give great thanks for knowing that we are the ones. And so as I release this word, I release it with absolute joy and conviction that it is already done. And so I simply allow it to be and invite you to join me in knowing this. And so it is. All right. And I get to invite our practitioner up, and that's Jeannie Henshaw.
So we will share the affirmation. I will read it first, and then it will come up on the screen, and we'll read it together. Service is the keynote to success and implies constructive work. Also, loyalty to your work and to all concerned in it. Service is the keynote to success and implies constructive work. Also, loyalty to your work and to all concerned in it. And so it is.
Thank you, Jeannie. And now please welcome the Mothers of Intention.
How many of you have children? Those count too. Well, in order to be of service to the world and to each other, you have to teach little barbarians how to be civilized people. So this is a song about that. Who are on the road must have a code that you can't live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just as goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and keep them on your trees, the one they fix, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. I know they love you. And you of tender years can know the fears that your elders grew by. And so leave your children with your youth. They see the world before they can die. Teach your parents well, the children's hell will slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh. I know they love you.
Rick Dale, Karen Allen, Kimberly Woolridge, and Wade Woolridge. And now please welcome Reverend Heather Dawn Clark.
Thank you so much, Allendale and Wooldridges. I love that song, and you guys just let her rip. It was fantastic. Thank you. That little counterpart melody was wonderful. So today begins a new theme, and the theme is service to the world, which is being in service. And today, in the Science of Mind magazine, the wonderful David Goldberg, who's the editor and the writer of the daily messages this month, did exactly what I was going to do. He started off with honoring Mother Teresa, because today she's going to be canonized. So from this moment on, from tonight on, when the Pope canonizes her, it'll be Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Yeah, so, and how perfect that it should be today. Of course, it's the day before her birthday, but here we are launching into a month on service, and this woman was the epitome of service in my heart and mind. And David captured the quote he used from her is, joy is prayer, joy is strength, joy is love, joy is a net of love by which you can catch souls. And then from the science of mind, he wrote, the scientist discovers the principles of the science. The artist embodies the spirit of his art. The saint draws Christ into his being, all because they have courted the particular presence of some definite concept. The universe is infinite. And as we affirmed, which actually was a quote from Ernest Holmes, that whenever we are working, so happy Labor Day to everyone. I know that you guys aren't celebrating the long weekend, or maybe you'll start after you're here, but thanks for being here. As we're celebrating Labor Day, that we remember that when we are working, we are really giving love, whether we're being compensated for that work or not. And as I was preparing for this, I do a lot of research Saturdays, especially, and Saturday night, and I was on my computer, and there's a site I highly recommend. It's called Spirituality and Practice, and it's just loaded with information, with spiritual practices, with music, with films. They've been doing this for about 15 years, this couple, and they tell you the films that they suggest. And of course, it was a good thing this last year I saw them all of the wonderful films. But the music, under compassion and awe, there was a piece that they showed, and it moved me so much. I actually sent a link to Diane. It moved me, and I thought about it. I'm going to show you this song. It was featuring, he didn't write it, but it was featuring David Archuleta. Those of you who are fans of American Idol might know who he is. He won it in 2007. And that's the one voice show that I'm not a fan of. So I didn't know about him until I saw this. And it actually is the theme song for the movie We Are the Mormons. But I thought, no. This is We Are the lovers of life. This is so beautiful for all of us, not just one group of people. And I actually thought that Book of Mormon, any of you who saw it know that the Church of Christ of the Latter-day Saints had a lot of ads in the programs. I saw it a couple of times, and it was filled with ads for people to come. You've now heard the musical, come and see what we really do, who we really are. And I think this is a counterpoint to that. But to me, it was really beautiful. It's all about service. So are we ready? We need the music for sure.
There are times when you might feel aimless and can't see the places where you belong. But you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along. And when you're near it, you can almost hear it. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece in their own melodies, and each one of us, oh, it's glorious. And you will know how to let it ring out as you discover who you are. Others around you will start to wake up to the sounds that are in their hearts. It's so amazing what we're all creating. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. And as you feel the notes build, you will see. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious.
It is so true. Each one of us is glorious. You are glorious. And the person sitting beside you and the one sitting in front of you and the one sitting behind you are all glorious. That you are glorious beings. Why? Because you're made in the image and likeness of the one. And whenever you're giving of yourself, as in that beautiful video, whenever you're giving of yourself, you're really giving of that presence that God is in you. You're really saying yes to life, yes to love, yes to the experience of this givingness. And it's as natural and normal as breathing. And it's as easy as that. So today, my purpose is to encourage you to increase your service. And yes, of course, we have opportunities here, but that's not even my main reason for speaking about this. My main reason for speaking about it is this is a path. The path of service is a path of awakening. It's a spiritual path for anyone who is in service. And those of you who are in service or have been in service know that while you're serving, there's something wonderful that happens. You feel good. You feel good because you're in service. You feel good because you're being used by something greater than yourself. You're making the world a better place. And as I've said often, no matter what you do that's good, it increases the vibration that everyone benefits from your act of service. Not just the people that you're serving, not just in that little corner of your world, but everywhere benefits by your giving of yourself. I reread parts of, or most of, Ram Dass's book that he wrote with Paul Corman called How May I Help? How Can I Help, I think. Anyway, it's about help. And it's about, Ram Dass, of course, is an American, and his name comes from when he went to India, because his American name is something else. Thank you, Richard Alpert. I was going to say Timothy Leary, but that's the other one. Well, they did work together on consciousness studies, and you all know what they were studying. Okay, so anyway, when he went to India, he was given a sacred name, and that sacred name was Ram Dass, and it means servant of God. It means servant of God. So it was a very significant name. And this book that I'm talking about, one of the things that they did is they collected stories of service, and then they would tell the story from the person's point of view, and they didn't ever say who the person was. So you have to really be careful as you're reading it. Okay, is this Paul? Is it Ram Dass? Or is it someone else telling the story? But it really doesn't matter. So anyway, some of those stories were very moving. One of them that they told, the person had decided to do clown work. And so he decided that his ministry would be clowning in hospitals and in particularly to make children laugh and to give children awareness of how loved they are and how safe it was. Well, the first thing he found out is he got someone had given him a clown costume. First of all, it started with a red nose, getting that nose and getting that change in persona. And then he got the outfit and the big 2 feet long shoes with the points on them and little bells that rang wherever he went. So he was all dressed as a clown. And he realized that some children were afraid of clowns. So the first thing he had to do was make a safe place. And he got comfortable with doing that. And he developed some games to play with kids, etc. And he was able, he said, I saw the worst conditions. Children should never have to suffer that way. No one should have to suffer that way. Whether it was disease or accident or caused by some form of abuse. Very, very horrific conditions. He said, but because I knew that I was coming into a children's wards, I was able to keep it together until one time. And I was going through a ward, and back in the corner, there was a crib, and in it was something I didn't recognize as a human being. It was so badly burned. In fact, it looked like burnt toast. I couldn't even tell where the mouth was. The ears were melted. It was just, and he said, and I just lost it. And I wept. And as I was standing there weeping, and I was transfixed, another kid goes by with an IV, and he says to the kid in the crib, "You're ugly." And the kid in the crib giggles and laughs. He giggles and laughs, and they make a connection. He now can stop his weeping and see he likely knows that he's going to be and is right now ugly in terms of the world. But that other child didn't say it as anything else but a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact. And what he got in that moment, the person in service, was his oneness with this child. That there are never two of us present. It's only one. I want to tell you a story, and then I'm going to come back to the chant for our meditation. This is a story that you may have heard before. It's a story of a guy who was transporting 4 penguins to the zoo, and his truck broke down. And it was a really hot day, so he was worried about these penguins. So someone stopped and said, "How can I help you?" And he said, "Well, you need to take these penguins to the zoo. Could you do that for me?" He said, "Oh, sure." And he put them in his car, and off he went. And the guy was worried. He thought, wonder if those penguins have got to the zoo. So he got his truck fixed, and he went to the zoo, and he looked around, and the penguins weren't there. And neither was the guy. And he was really getting upset. Like, what could have happened? He seemed like such a genuine guy. What has he done? And so then he sees him. He's downtown having an ice cream. "What did you do with the penguins?" He said, "I asked you to take them to the zoo." He said, "Oh, we did. We had such a good time at the zoo." And then they wanted some ice cream. So I took them for an ice cream. And why I tell you that is, first of all, it's a kind of funny story. But secondly, if you don't give clear directions, he did take them to the zoo, right? He didn't leave them there. At our meditation time, I'd asked for a certain chant. And the chant is one of Melissa Felipe's chants called "There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see." There is only one of us. Well, I didn't give clear directions. And so there was another Melissa Felipe chant that we started. And I was right into having what I wanted. And so I'm waving my hand, saying, no, that's the wrong chant. Well, then we got another chant, which was not the one I wanted. Okay, it's my version of taking the penguins to the zoo. Give clear directions, and then be grateful for whatever does happen. So, okay. So the value in being of service is being able to see your oneness with all life, is being able to make a difference right where you are, how you are. Another story I read in the book was about a woman who decided, speaking of animals in the zoo, she saw an ad saying volunteers were needed for the zoo. And I'm not going to tell you the gorilla joke, because I just did that a while ago. So anyway, she volunteered and she got so much out of it. She really discovered how much she loved animals and how all of the animals had value and how much she loved them. So she thought, wouldn't it be great if we could take the animals to places where people can't get out and come to the zoo? And so they arranged to take, not the whole zoo, but a few of the animals. She said, I made so many mistakes as a volunteer. And here's one of the reasons people don't volunteer is the universal lie. The universal lie is, I am not enough. I'm not good enough. They won't really care if I do this or not. That's a lie. You are good enough. And anything you give is enough. So anyway, she had that, and the very first, but she was doing it anyway, and she'd taken a ferret into a place where there were mentally challenged people, and this young man came rushing toward, touch, touch, he was crying out, and she said, later, because she was going to do her presentation. Oftentimes, when we're volunteering or when we're working, our way is the only way. We've got a plan, so we stick to the plan. And so then when it was time, she found the boy and said, do you want to touch the ferret now? He was no longer interested. And so she realized that she had to be willing to be flexible and to be in the moment and whatever is required in that moment. So then the next time she went to a place where people were, a hospital, everyone had some kind of injury or horrific kind of disease. And so she wasn't going to make that mistake again. And so she had a soft bird in her hand that was petable. And so she went into the room and she said to a guy without looking at him, would you like to pet this bird? And he said, oh, sure. Didn't you even look? I don't have any fingers. But instead of being reactionary like she was the first time, she said, well, you could hold him with your palms. And she said just that made such a difference, that he changed from having this anger and this reactionary way of being to being gentle and filled with love. She told another story with Reverend Judy isn't here this morning, but all of us know that she loves snakes and her dad loves snakes. And she said she would save the snake for last. And she would always offer it. She would say, now I'm going to show you a snake next. So if you have issues with that, you can leave. And there was one guy who was fascinated and terrified. Fascinated and terrified. So she would offer him the snake and he would touch the snake and he would scream. scaring everybody else. And he would say, oh, it's so evil, it's so evil. She said, do you want me to take it away? No. And he touched the snake and he would scream. And he would touch the snake and he would scream. And then finally, he was able to hold the snake without screaming. And he says, it feels like gold. It feels like gold. So something in her knew to stay with that being in service, to keep offering it to him, and not to be frightened by the behavior and the screaming. Okay. I also recently, so these are not in their book, this next example. A young girl had a bout with some kind of cancer, a child, and she was having a slow time recuperating. And their family dog wouldn't let her just ignore life. He would come and get her and snuggle in with her. And she said, when she got better, she said, I wouldn't have gotten better if it hadn't been for our dog. So I want to provide, my service is to provide dogs for all the children who have cancer. And they started a foundation, and it's in, I believe, Denver. It's in Colorado, in one of the cities in Colorado. And they've provided something like 100,000 dogs. And not only that, this is like the gift that is giving and giving and giving. Not only that, but who's training these dogs to be with these children? Inmates. Inmates are training these dogs. And so it's such a win-win, because they're out of their self-pity, giving of themselves, and providing such a wonderful gift for these youngsters that have had these challenges. So I don't know what it will be for you. I don't know what will make your heart sing, but I know that there's some special gifts that you have to give. There's some things that only you can give because of who you are and what you love. And you are the one that makes the difference. So my goal this morning is that you've been inspired to take another look at ways you can serve. Because the truth is, you are the one that makes the difference. And no one can give the gifts of love that you give. And so it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and so we're going to bring that awareness of service into prayer. And Diane's going to set us up.
Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God's Savior. Blessed love, how we serve our God around us. Let our hearts be full of giving, that we bless the word and say,
In this holy moment of now, I recognize and realize that each one of us is blessed always. Each one of us is glorious. And that glory comes, that blessing comes through us as we give of ourselves, as we give of our time, our talent, and our treasure. And so this is what I know for each one right here, right now. I know that that glory that God is in me, I speak in the first person for all of us, cannot be given by anyone else. Each one has his or her own glory, and each one is glorious in his or her own way. What I know is that this beautiful presence is calling me home to myself, calling me to be true to myself, to give from that wholeness that I am, to be the expression of the divine as vitality and energy and aliveness. It is calling me to give of my joy in service and give of my joy wherever I am, to give a smile, to give an encouraging word, to give a nod of approval and praise. So what I know is that this one power in me is moving through me as all the good in my life. It is moving through me as greater and greater expanded good, expanded prosperity. It is moving through me as expanded creativity and different ways of seeing the same thing. It is moving through me as every gift that I give, and I'm constantly giving gifts, whether I know it or not. I give of the good that God is in me. And with my heart filled with gratitude, I simply know that this word is complete. It's greater than all of the words that I use to craft it. It's complete, it's done. And please join me in saying, and so it is.
And please welcome back first Rick Dale and then Karen Allen joining him.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I would rather fall. I'm on your side. Oh, times get rough, and friends just can't be found like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will come through. I'll take your heart. Oh, when darkness comes,
your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your
Rick Dale.
Thank you.
I just about forgot what was next. That was so wonderful. But I do want to, I know that this is going to come up in a little bit also, but I just wanted to say a couple of things. Next Saturday, 4 o'clock, there's a beach cleanup for your opportunity to be in sacred service with this center. North Beach, 4 o'clock, bring food to share, and then there'll be a bonfire at 5 o'clock-ish, and it'll be absolutely wonderful. There are so many ways to be in service here, but I did want to say that one because there's no Sunday before it. Now, if the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. And so please repeat after me. Divine love as me
Divine love as me
blesses and consecrates
blesses and consecrates
all that I do,
all that I do,
all that I have,
all that I have,
all that I give.
all that I give.
I give with love,
I give with love,
and I love to give,
and I love to give.
and so it is.
So it is.
Here we are at the perfect time and the perfect place, showing up with an open mind and all this space. Anything can happen here. We all play a part. Here's an invitation to the center of our heart. Take my hand, here we go. What's the plan? We don't have to know. Take a breath and make a start. Welcome home to the center of the heart. Here we are at the perfect time and the perfect place, showing up with an open mind and all this space. Anything can happen here. We all play a part. We're all in this together at the center of our heart. In my hands, here we go. What's the plan? We don't have to know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll get those kidlets in here.